IGAD is a regional organization that has membership in 8 of the countries in the Horn of Africa, comprising of the Republic of Sudan, the Republic of South Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti, and Eritrea. If you look at the progression of what development to us in the Horn of Africa, and basically most of the African continents whose history have had to ponder, we went through a process until where we are today. And therefore, it's not accidental that we didn't grow as much and that we were not as prepared as much. Of course, bearing in mind that the events and the climate change issues and the changes in lifestyle did not wait for our evolution to understand our development. So really, that is the background we came from. Having reached there, then the issue was how do we then deal with the emerging issues, and mainly climate-related issues. So there was total misunderstanding of what development entails and what discrete development needs of the people was different. So really, the issue of participation was a big issue. That was not there. And this is a fairly new phenomenon. The question was, why can't we get this drought issue now that we know? The question is not if there will be drought, and now that we know, the question is when. Why can't we get it right? And it's at this point in time that there was a high-level commitment and statements by the member states of IGAD and the East African Community at that level, at the heads of states level, here in Nairobi, where they made a political statement that drought shall never turn into famine again in the Horn of Africa. And it's at that point that we were tasked in IGAD to do whatever is possible to operationalize that political decision. And the first thing we did was, of course, look at what are the issues and what are some of the key things that could have been issues that we may not have addressed well. Because it's not true to say that drought management has not been done before. It has been done very well before, and there's been a lot of best practices, but we just didn't get there. So the question was, where is it different? And we, in our view, we think there are 4 areas that has really not been addressed very well. And the priority area that we think that has not been addressed very well is the issue of coordination, followed by the issue of information and the issue of response, coupled with preparedness and recovery, and lastly, not the least, the issue of policy and research. You could say this is a conglomeration of groups of people who have paid the bills all the time, but understand that there are things that need to be done differently, and that understand that they need to realign better, understand that the issue of prioritization and the appropriateness of interventions, even during the emergencies, have not been done well, and therefore want to form a platform that they support at the regional level that then provides this kind of ability. But also link that experience as a best case practice to the global resilience agenda through the global alliance that then can be replicated elsewhere. But at the same time, support the member states on their own bilateral arrangements with the UN systems and with the other financial institutions, so that we have the financing mechanisms that then could provide the resources that's required to kind of manage the drought cycle and the emergency cycles. The buy-in has been such that during the formulation of what we call the country programming papers, because we did the formulation with the member states and with IGAD and with the steering committee, that is basically members of the international community, including the UN systems, with a lot of support from FAO, we ensured that we tailor-made a consultative process that touches on the participation at the local level, and that touches on participation with the civil society, and that touches on participation and quality control by other agencies outside government. So we've gone as close as possible, using whatever mechanism is available to be able to get to that. So this has, for the first time, really taken a very long, designed and well-intended program to get people on board. So we think this has been part of the coordination mechanism that has been weak, and information sharing that we wanted to address. Regional initiatives in support of pastoral communities, RISPA. and the FSTP, Food Security Thematic Program, are basically two programs that contribute very positively, and that are typical examples of part of the implementation mechanisms of the ideas that we think are priority in trying to develop the resilience agenda. Basically, the FSTP is a window of EU funding mechanism as a window that then does the funding for the RISPA. And basically what RISPA does, it works on a three-tier result areas. And one is at the community level, and the other one is at the coordination and policy level. So those three different levels. What that means basically is there has been a purposely designed model to ensure that communities participate in development agenda, that then they develop the necessary resilience so that come the next bout of drought or other food insecurity, bouts of food insecurity for whatever reason, but mainly drought, then they are found in a better situation than they were last year, and therefore be able to survive and hold on to it a little bit longer. And that's really what is meant by a resilient development. And you see how that, at that level, then links up to the drought resilience agenda at the regional level through results 2 and 3, which is coordination, which is exactly what we think is a priority, and through policy formulation, which of course is another fourth priority. I talked about coordination, information, response, and policy and research. And you can see how that initiative really all encompasses the entire agenda of the drought resilience. But at the same time, because of the quick funding levels and the initial intention of having been an emergency orientation program, the fact that we could use it, and we did use it as a stable level base upon which to build the resilient agenda. So I think this is very important intervention that really cross-links with what's going on at the regional level. What we need to see in the future basically is to ensure, is to try to stay focused and follow our agenda of ensuring that the drought resilience agenda is carried forward. And here we have to state the fact that developing resilience is a process development. It's more of a process development than a technically tangible process. And a process development is a factor that entails carrying people with you. It's not something that can be done in 3-5 years. It's a long-term shot, and therefore we make a case to ensure that we have the drought resilience agenda at least for the first 15 years.